So today on Smart TV, we want to talk about print marketing versus digital marketing and the pros and cons of both and how they can work together and some of the new things that are going on there. I've brought a great friend of mine, Hiram, in to work with us with Ogden Lit.
Yep.
So a local print company here in Ogden, Utah. They really do a great job and help out a lot of good businesses and have a lot of great knowledge and understanding of what print can do for your business to give you some ideas. So if you have questions about print marketing or digital marketing or how you can work with those together, let us know. We'd love to answer those questions for you today. So I think it would be good to even just start off talking about like what is print marketing? What is considered print marketing basically?
So print marketing is essentially on paper. So if it's a business card or an envelope, a letterhead, a brochure, a bookmark, anything that's printed on paper is essentially a print marketing. Now there are other things of printing. There's screen printing and other types of printing on other materials, but your basic print marketing piece is going to be
paper-based stuff.
Paper-based.
So anything, whether it's a flyer, even mailers,
yep.
Inserts or for publications or things like that.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. That's really good. So what do you see, what are some of the trends that you see in print marketing right now? What are some of the things that are happening right now?
So right now, I'd say we're getting a shift back towards business cards and brochures, where for a little bit, the big push was for direct mail through the post office. And what we found with our clients is that a lot of the direct mail pieces just ended up in the trash and weren't very effective. And it could just be the type of industry they're in. It could be, around that time it was between 2008, 2012, where the everyday direct mail was a really big push. And now we're just seeing them move their money back towards the brochures and the flyers.
Okay. So more stuff that they're handing out versus mailing, basically?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because we kind of found it's like how many, when you receive like in your email, how many of those emails that are unsolicited do you actually read?
True.
And that's kind of how the direction of those direct mail pieces are kind of, it's an unsolicited piece of mail and it tends to find its way into the garbage.
That makes a lot of sense. Lots of sense. One thing I've noticed with print too is nostalgic print. So like things that are more personal to people. So maybe not. I think the idea of print marketing is evolving as well to realize it's not just sending a mailer or doing a direct mail or whatever it is. It's more of what can we do that will make an impression necessarily, but it's not considered true marketing. So as an example of greeting cards or birthday cards is big. I have a friend that's her whole business is she sends out greeting cards for business. So like I can sign up and then whenever my clients have birthdays, they get a birthday card or once a year they get a Christmas card from our business or something like that. And it's interesting to it's a different type of marketing. It's not true marketing, meaning come buy my stuff, here's my latest deal and stuff, but it's more about maintaining or building relationship, connecting with people in ways. And she says that the feedback she gets is that some people actually prefer that versus like an email that says happy birthday.
Yeah.
Because there's just something different, because especially with the younger generation, because they're not used to that. You and I grew up getting letters in the mail all the time.
Yeah.
But the younger generation, they don't understand that, and so when they get something in the mail, it's almost totally different to them. It's like what digital was for us as we got older. We got used to mail, but then when digital came out, that was just cool to get emails and cool to get messages on social media from people.
Yeah.
But that's reversed now with the millennial generation and younger, because they're used to the digital. They don't understand print, so in a way, print has a nice comeback coming where they can. Because they don't know what getting a letter in the mail is like. So letters that use handprint or handwriting on them, or like birthday cards and stuff, something physical and tangible. There's still something to that.
Yeah.
And so I like to tell businesses, don't think of print marketing in the traditional sense. Think of it more of like, how can you just keep your name in front of people? How can you still connect with people give them something tangible, and that seems to work really well.
Yeah, you really hit it on the head with the relationship side of it. We've found that when we ask our clients what kind of a relationship they want their prospective client to have with the piece that we're printing, we usually get kind of the look like, I just want a brochure, you know. But the point of it is really, what relationship do you want to have with your client? What relationship do you want to have, or what relationship do you want to form with your audience with that print piece?
Yeah.
And so we've seen a lot of a turn going back to a little bit more vintage. You know, we've done a lot more vintage looking designs, and also we're seeing a trend going back to letterpress. We're seeing a trend where people like the textured stuff, and they like the
well, and that's something that's cool for you guys, for Ogden Lit, though, because you guys just aren't a whole bunch of giant copiers.
Yeah.
Printing, cranking papers out.
Yeah.
You guys actually have the cool letterpress,
Yes.
and you have like the old machines that actually make an indent in the paper and other
Yes.
things like that. And it's really cool. If you guys haven't seen letterpress stuff or how that works, find a local printer and go talk to him. It's really cool. I still remember when you took me on a tour.
Yeah.
That was years ago. It was fun to see.
Yeah. It's really cool. And so a lot of the things that we gear towards is that the most important thing is knowing who your audience is going to be. Who's your target market? And that will tell us what, as we sit down to design, or if you are sending work out to a marketing firm or an out-of-house designer, you want to know who your target audience is, what, even down to what schooling level they had, what maybe is it a working mom, is it a single mom, is it a real minute details on kind of what this market is, because that's going to depend on what paper you use, what verbiage you use on the throughout the piece, what graphics you use. There's a lot of things that go into it, but which all leads back to what the relationship you want to have.
Yeah.
If you want to have a poor relationship, run it on regular copy paper. You'll have a poor relationship and a poor response. But if you put in the relationship factor in there, if you put it and you develop a nice piece, if you spend the money on a nice piece, your return is going to be greater than if you say, hey, I don't care about you. Here's a 20-pound bond paper brochure. Or, hey, here's this really nice paper. It's a nicely done, nicely printed piece. The relationship is going to be greater than if you say, I don't care.
So if you are going with a brochure for your business, then definitely put the effort into making a really good one, like the good paper, textures of the paper, printing, different styles, so that it's not just a cheap throwaway.
Yeah.
It's actually something that they go, wow, this is serious.
Like something that they want to keep a hand on, or keep it in their drawer or their desk. Or now a lot of the times the paper is just a high quality gloss paper. Other times, if your clients are say they're multi-million-dollar companies that you're trying to attract, or then you would use a more expensive, finer piece of paper. But it's interesting too that there was it's a lab, I believe they're in New York. It's called the Eagleton Lab, and they did a study specifically on this. What do people remember based on the type of paper that things are printed on, or even an online piece? So what they did is they brought in volunteers, and of these volunteers, they were given 3 brochures of 3 fictitious companies. And the brochure was, so one was printed on high quality gloss, one was printed on a low quality uncoated, a lot of people call it matte paper, and then the other was a PDF. And so they had these volunteers read these brochures, and then afterwards they asked them questions, how they felt about the company that was on each different paper or different medium. And all of them came back with a higher response and favoritism, or a positive feeling about the company that was on the gloss paper. And this was immediately right after they read the stuff. So then 1 week later, they brought the volunteers back and they asked them more questions about these companies, and the name recognition, or they were able to say what the company name was 3-to-1 higher odds for the paper on the gloss, the high quality gloss paper. So people remembered even a week later, after reading one brochure, the high quality gloss paper versus the other mediums.
Wow.
Which leads me to say, like, really the purpose of print now is really, one, you want people to have that relationship. Two, you want them to remember your name. But three is to push them online.
Yeah.
Because you still want to have that print piece, and that's going to help you drive your traffic online, especially if you have an online store. You want them to go online, use a code to get a discount, or you want that piece to push them online, and then, you know, once they're online, they follow whatever keywords or whatever you have online to push them to wherever you want them to go.
So your print ads, or your print marketing, I should say, is another touch point to help
Yes.
them to do whatever your online sells, if you have a website or different things like that as well. I know one area where there's a huge divergence between digital marketing and print marketing is when it comes down to cost.
Yes.
That's a big one there. Like we had a business several years ago that they wanted to do a big contest. They wanted to reach 100,000 homes, and they were in this mindset of, we have to do a direct mail campaign, and they're going, man, I got to save up some money, because that's like $4,000 to $5,000 depending on how fancy you make it and everything. And I told them, I said, no, guys, we're not doing this with a direct mail campaign. We're going to run Facebook ads.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was still relatively young in Facebook's ad system. But they're like, really? How do we do that? I says, well, we're going to go online and we're going to really target these people. So we got an ad in front of 98,000 homeowners. So it cut out renters, it cut out everybody else. They just dialed in who that customer was and really targeted it and hit it. And it was awesome. Mm-hmm. And that ad ran, like, people saw it for 2 whole months.
Yeah. And
it cost $500 to do the whole thing. So, you know, $4,000 for direct mail versus an ad on Facebook for $500 is a massive difference in cost.
Yes.
And I think that's one thing that's encouraging more digital, is just because there's a lot of cost there. Plus, you can turn the ads on and off. You can edit them. You know, in a week later, you can edit them. There's one thing that always gets me about printing is if you don't have someone who's really good at quality control of keeping an eye on that, you know, there's something like business cards. There's nothing worse to get your business cards printed than realize that your phone number's off by 1 digit, or your email is spelled wrong or something like that, you know, and you're like, crap, we can't use these anymore, you know?
Yeah.
So if you're going to do print, really watch that control of quality of, is everything, you know, typed out right? Things is really good. Because on digital, like, you can change it. Oh, look, there's a typo. Let's go and edit that. Done. It edits it, and the ad keeps running.
Yep.
So there's some big advantages with that as well, with the hyper targeting and the cost and things, which is nice. But still, I tell people all the time, try to combine the two.
Yes. Because
they help out. We had a gentleman that was a handyman, and he was going around doing the door knocker. So whenever he got a job to do like a remodel on a home, or you know, help somebody finish their basement or something like that, he would go to the job, and then afterwards he would go around to like 30 homes and put out these door hangers. So that people, hey, I just did this job in the area. If you'd like my work and help out, here's what we can do. So he was using that as another way to get his name out there in front of people. Yeah. And I told him, I said, great, print them, get those printed and done. You know, put that money together to make those really nice. I says, but will you send me a digital copy of that ad of your door hanger? And he's like, what are we going to do? I says, what I want to do is I'm going to run an ad on Facebook to that same area, the city that you're working in, basically. Yeah. I'm going to run an ad on Facebook, and I'm going to share this door hanger image with them and encourage people, if you see this on your door, here's what it's about. Yeah. And so we put that out there that same week. So it hit within a couple days before he started hanging the door hangers out there, basically. Mm-hmm. So what happened was people now see it twice. Yep. So they'll see an ad on Facebook, and here's the door hanger. Oh, okay, handyman service. Yeah, if we need one, maybe, and they'll move on. Just like you said, a lot of people skim on social media or on digital marketing. Yeah. But they at least have seen it, and then when they see it on their door a couple days later, they're going, "Wait, I saw that on Facebook." Yeah. And now it means something more to them, And so more people are going to hold on to that flyer because of the ad on Facebook. So that's a fun way where they can combine, the forces of both of them to really narrow that in. And because you can target the ad, then you're going to reinforce it again in the main customers that you want to hit.
Yeah.
So if you're not going after like a renter, let's say, you can't tell in the mail. It's hard to tell who's renter and who's not, or when you're just knocking on people's doors, you don't know the difference. Mm-hmm. But on Facebook, they can get some better ideas of that, which is totally crazy that how granular they can really get on that. But that's a fun way. Another thing that I think is fun that thankfully is becoming more popular. And let us know, guys, if you use like QR codes. QR codes have been around for, it's crazy to think they've been around for almost a decade. But they've been around a long time.
Yep.
And they just haven't been used that much. And now, as of 2017, most mobile devices cameras will recognize them by default. You don't need a third-party app anymore.
Yeah.
So that'll help with the adoption rate of those. So the nice thing about those is that when you share those, now people just open up their phone, they turn on their camera, and it'll pick it up instantly. But we've encouraged that all the time to continue to leverage. Take your print and leverage it. Add a video on there that does more. Like on our business card, we actually have on the back of my card a QR code that people could look at, and it's a 3-minute video of customer testimonials.
Yeah.
So it extends the marketing that my card can do for me, basically. Yeah. So that's a great tool. We had a business that we did, an HVAC business, that we wanted to help them get in that moment of sell. That's so important to be there when somebody needs help, and so especially for them. And so we printed up a bunch of stickers with their contact information on it and a QR code that said, if you have problems with your furnace, take a picture of this QR code with your phone and watch the video. It's a video instruction manual for how to take care of your own furnace. And it's the owner of the company going, hey guys, it's great you have a nice furnace. Here's what you do. Here's what you need to clean this out. Here's regular maintenance. Here's how to change your furnace filter. Here's how to do this and this. If this happens or if this sound happens, call us, because you need a professional to take care of that. If you have this kind of smell or odor coming from it, here's what you need to do. Get out of the house, call the fire department, or give us a call. So it's just an instructional video to help people out. But what it does is it allows that company to be there the moment that you need help with your furnace. And guess who gets the phone call if it's something that's really bad or they can't fix it themselves? That company, because all their contact information is there, and it was on a sticker. So every house they go into to check out, whether it's we're going to just do a quick check of your furnace, we're going to clean your furnace, whatever, they just slap a sticker on there, and the next time somebody has a furnace problem, they have a sticker that has all that contact information for the business, so they get the first phone call. Yeah. So it just makes it so much easier for them to get ahead of everybody else. And so, that's where using digital resources like having a video on YouTube you can refer people to, and then having a sticker that you can print off and actually stick on there, or even like a magnet on a fridge, or back of a business card, stuff like that. So those are some fun ways that we've been able to use a combination of both, and we recommend it. We totally recommend it. It's somewhat ironic. In fact, we're a social media company, but we actually find most of our clients not on social media. We actually find them in like personal contacting and other things. So it's a little ironic for us in our marketing, but it still works. Yeah, and it's great.
Well, and a lot of times too is like when things are digital, we tend to forget about where they're at. For example, I've got a bunch of stuff on my Facebook that I've saved, but I haven't gone back in, and Facebook has to remind me, hey, you have stuff that you've saved, but if I have something where I have a tangible piece, then I'm more likely to remember, I had this coupon, or I had this brochure about this company that deals with these issues that I'm having right now, and so I'll be able to go and I pull that out. A lot of times, just like on digital, I'm sure that a lot of times ads just don't work, and that's a thing that you take a risk at. And yes, digital marketing is going to always be cheaper in some instances than paper. But paper is, again, going back to that relationship that you want to have with your client. If I physically hand somebody my card who has asked for it, they're going to keep it and they're going to call me. If I physically hand somebody something, more information about my company, they're going to read it because they've asked for it. Whereas when unsolicited things come, we tend to just skim right over them and keep on going, unless we're specifically looking for it.
Yeah, well, and I think that's like B2B sales versus B2C, where print even makes a bigger difference because everything is so digital in B2B sales and doing stuff right now that getting something for print is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, you actually sent me a brochure, you sent me something that I can hold on to. That's just such a different mindset. Yeah. So that is kind of fun to have that. So I think it makes an even bigger difference in B2B stuff versus B2C type things. But there's still advantages and opportunities to go back and forth on that.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So if you guys have any other questions about using digital marketing versus print marketing and other things, let us know. We appreciate you joining us for Smart TV today, and we look forward to seeing you next week for another episode of Smart TV. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Use our hashtag SMRTTV if you have other questions. We'd love to answer those questions for you. So, and just reach out to us anytime, and we'll be more than happy to help you out with those. So thanks, Hiram, for coming in. We'll definitely have to have you come back a little bit more on some of the stuff you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But that'd be fun to do that. And thanks everybody for joining us. We appreciate it. So we look forward to seeing you next week for another episode of Smart TV.